to this online course on measures of dispersion. You have learnt measures of central tendency for frequency distribution. This measures of central tendency is nothing but a representative of a frequency distribution, but this fails to give us the complete picture of measures of central tendency. It doesn't give us the scatterness or variation of a frequency distribution. So let us consider an example. The marks of 5 students in 2 tests, paper 1 and paper 2. Let us find the arithmetic mean for this paper 1 and paper 2. For paper 1, the total number is divided by the total number of observation is 10, which is equal to 20 by 5, which is nothing but 4. So let us consider paper 2. For paper 2, the average is sigma x by n is nothing but which is again equal to 20 by 5, which is equal to 4. Hence, for these 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2, the average comes as 4, but the distribution is uniform in case of paper 1 and it varies in case of paper 2. Hence, to study the scatteredness or variation of the observation within the frequency distribution, we need another measure, namely measure of dispersion. Measures of dispersion, we have range, quartile deviation, mean deviation and standard deviation. The first one is range, then quartile deviation, the third one is mean deviation, and the important one is standard deviation. So we have some of the characteristics of this measures of dispersion. Number 1, it should be rigidly defined. Number 2, it should depend on all the values. Number 3, it should not be affected by extreme values. And number 4, it should be simple to understand. And easy to calculate. So the measure of dispersion must possess some of these properties. Namely, it should be rigidly defined, it should depend on all the values of the distribution, it should not be affected by extreme values, and it should be simple to understand and easy to calculate. The first and the simplest of the measures of dispersion is range. Range is calculated using the formula L minus S, where L is the largest value and S is the smallest value. So we can use this formula range L minus S in case of individual observation and for discrete frequency distribution. Let us consider an example. The marks of 5 students in a test So range for this individual observation is calculated with the help of the formula L minus S. So here the largest value is 10 and the smallest value is 2. Hence the range for this individual observation is 8. So similar formula can be used for calculating range in case of a discrete distribution. Let us consider a discrete frequency distribution of 5 items, size and frequency given like this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The corresponding frequencies 10, 12, 8, 5 and 2. So here to calculate range we know the formula L minus S, where L is the largest value and S is the smallest value. So range here is 5 minus 1, which is equal to 4. In case of continuous frequency distribution, range is calculated as L minus S, where L is nothing but the upper bound of highest class and S is nothing but the lower bound of the lowest class. So let us consider an example with as a continuous frequency distribution. One to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, and the frequency as 5, 3, 8, 9. So range is calculated with the formula L minus S, where L is the upper bound of the highest class. Here the highest class is 16 to 20 and the upper bound is nothing but 20. And S is the lower bound of the lowest class. Here the lowest class is 1 to 5 and the lower bound is 1. And hence the range here is 19. Some of the merits and demerits of these ranges are, so merits, it is easy to calculate. It is used in calculating the quality control in areas like quality control, weather forecast and the share price analysis. Range is widely used. Some of the demerits are, it is affected by the extremities because the range is calculated depending on the extreme values and it is rarely used. The next one is standard deviation. So standard deviation is the absolute measure of central tendency as it is taken the positive square root of the arithmetic mean of the observation given. Standard deviation is calculated in 3 different cases: for individual observation, discrete frequency distribution and for continuous frequency distribution. In case of individual distribution, standard deviation is denoted by the symbol sigma. In case of individual observation, sigma is nothing but square root of sigma xi square by n minus sigma xi by n the whole square. In case of discrete frequency distribution, standard deviation is calculated with the formula sigma is equal to square root of sigma fi xi square by sigma fi minus sigma fi xi by sigma fi the whole square. In case of continuous frequency distribution, sigma is calculated as square root of sigma fi di square by sigma fi minus sigma fi di by sigma fi the whole square, where di is nothing but x minus a by c, where a is the assumed mean and c is the class interval, width of the class interval. Let us consider an individual series. For that we will calculate standard deviation. So the series is 2, 3, 4, 6, 10. So this is the individual distribution given. We are going to calculate the standard deviation for this series. Let me take this as x, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 10. So x square is nothing but 4, 9, 16, 36 and 100. The formula to calculate standard deviation is sigma is equal to square root of sigma xi square by n minus sigma x by n the whole square. Here sigma x is equal to 25 and sigma x square is equal to 165. So standard deviation sigma is equal to square root of sigma xi square is nothing but 165 and n is the number of observation given, which is 5, minus sigma xi is nothing but 25 and again the number of observation is 5 and hence sigma is equal to square root of 165 by 5 is 33 minus 25 by 5 is 5 and 5 square is 25, which is equal to square root of 8, which is nothing but 2.8. Let us consider a discrete frequency distribution. The size is given to be 4, 6, 8 and 10 and the corresponding frequencies are given to be 2, 5, 5, 3. So we are going to calculate standard deviation. So x is given as 4, 6, 8 and 10. Corresponding frequencies are 2, 5, 5 and 3. So to find the standard deviation for a discrete frequency distribution, sigma is nothing but square root of sigma fx square by sigma f minus sigma fx by sigma f the whole square. So we need to calculate fx square, fx the whole square. So given x as well as f, fx is calculated like this, 4 into 2 is 8, 6 into 530, 8 into 540 and 10 into 330, and hence sigma fx comes as 108. And x is given as 4, 6, 8, 10 and corresponding x square is 16, 6 square is 36, 8 square is 64 and 10 square is 100. So knowing this frequency as well as x square, fx square is calculated. So 2 into 16 is 32, 5 into 36 is 180, 5 into 64 is 320 and 3 into 100 is 300, and hence the sum of the sigma fx square is 832. Hence sigma is square root of 832 by 15 minus 108 by 15 the whole square, which on simplification comes as 1.9. Hence the standard deviation for this discrete frequency distribution is 1.9. Similarly, we can find the standard deviation in case of continuous frequency distribution. Let us look into some of the merits and demerits of this standard deviation. So as we know, the important property of the measures of dispersion is it should be rigidly defined. The merit of the standard deviation is it is rigidly defined and its value is always definite and based on all the observations and the actual signs of deviations are used. As it is based on arithmetic mean, it has all the merits of arithmetic mean. It is the most important and widely used measure of dispersion. It is possible for further algebraic treatment. It is less affected by the fluctuation of sampling and hence stable. It is the basis for measuring the coefficient of correlation and sampling. Some of the demerits are, it is not easy to understand and it is difficult to calculate. It gives more weight to extreme values because the values are squared up. As it is an absolute measure of variability, it cannot be used for the purpose of comparison. As the standard deviation, the measurement is given in units, comparison is not possible, and hence for comparison we can use coefficient of variation. The square of standard deviation is nothing but variance, and hence variance is given by the formula sigma square. So variance is nothing but the square of standard deviation. As the standard deviation is the absolute measure of dispersion and we cannot compare any two frequency distribution as the measurement is always given in units. For example, the height of a plant is given in centimeters and the weight of a grain is given in kilograms. Hence these two units cannot be compared with help of the standard deviation, and hence we can calculate coefficient of variation for comparison purpose. Coefficient of variation is calculated using the formula standard deviation by mean into 100. So using this formula, for if the heights of a plant and the weights of a grains are given in centimeters and kgs, with help of this coefficient of variation we can compare these two. Consider the measurement on yield and plant height of a paddy variety. The mean and standard deviation for yield are 50 kg and 10 kg respectively, and the mean and standard deviation for plant height are 55 cm and 5 cm. Here yield and the heights are given in two different units. Hence with help of standard deviation we cannot compare these two. We are going to use coefficient of variation to compare these two units. For yield, coefficient of variation is sigma by x bar into 100. Here in case of yield, sigma is given to be 10 and x bar is given to be 50. and hence coefficient of variation in case of yield is 20. For plant height, coefficient of variation is sigma by x bar into 100. In case of height, the mean is given to be 55 centimeter and standard deviation is given to be 5 centimeter. Hence coefficient of variation is 5 by 55 into 100, which is nothing but 9.1. Hence, in case of yield, coefficient of variation is high, and in case of plant height, coefficient of variation is less. If the coefficient of variation is high, then the uniformity is less stable, less homogeneous, and less consistent. If the coefficient of variation is low, then it is more consistent and more stable. Hence, standard deviation is the best measure of dispersion. For more problems to solve in standard deviation and in measures of dispersion, refer statistics by Arumugam and IC. Thank you.